Burrow coming back, that it reminds me a lot of last year, because we had this conversation in December when they looked like they were out of it and they tried to run the table down the stretch. They're 4-8, Stephen A. How do you view them as far as whether they can actually get to the playoffs here over their next 5 games?
Well, I think there's too much that the Bengals would have to overcome. They need too much help from too many people. I mean, they've got games left at Buffalo. They're home against Baltimore. They're at Miami, home versus the Cardinals, and they're home versus the Browns. So these are winnable games for the Cincinnati Bengals. You can use the word spoiler. I think that would be very, very appropriate because they can score against anybody. By the way, give their defense props. Their defense didn't look god-awful, so we got to take that into consideration. They didn't even have Trey Hendrickson at their disposal. And so you look at all of that and how they can score and what Joe Burrow can do and how he can fling that football, and then you see how he elevates their level of confidence. You know, unfortunately, typical to form for the Cincinnati Bengals, they can run the table, end up finishing the season 9-8, and miss the playoffs, but spoil it for a few teams along the way. They're very, very capable of doing that. But I think you can't have this expectation that they're going to make the postseason with 8 losses with as many people that are ahead of them. I think that's too much to ask.
For the Cincinnati Bengals, though, it's not this miracle run that gets you in the playoffs. It's this run that allows you to have something to play for. That's why Joe Burrow is back. When you saw him after the game and they were asking him questions about why play, you play because that's what you're supposed to do. You play because that's what you love doing. You play because even after 9 weeks, you can come out on the field against a divisional rival and be that good throughout the entire game and then fix your red zone woes in the second half. This team probably won't make the playoffs because too much has to happen outside of them running the table, but he knows how to go into Buffalo and win. He's not scared of playing the Ravens again, and the last 3 games are very winnable. They very well could see themselves ending up exactly where they were last year, which was a team that was 9-8 with a winning record sitting right outside the playoffs. But Joe Burrow is back to give this team hope, and he did exactly that last night.
Yeah, he worked his way into the MVP conversation late last season. I don't know how, it was kind of a long shot, but if he plays good football, Cam, how do you see this team finishing out these next 5 games?
It's honestly speaking, I don't like that we keep having this same ending of a story for a team as talented as the Cincinnati Bengals. And are we giving passes or circumstances or situations that have led us to this point? Joe Burrow is supposed to be fighting each and every year to be a Super Bowl contender. That's who he is as a quarterback. But yet, nobody thinks, and I do not believe that they're going to make the playoffs this year. Being a spoiler attached with a Joe Burrow or Jamar Chase or a T. Higgins, no, these are contenders, not spoilers. It's unfortunate. And this is something that we have to take into consideration because we have to find answers sooner rather than later. We thought we had it this year. You know, even Stephen A. was saying, hey, why are they always starting 0-2 or having a losing record in the first beginning of part of September and things like that? Well, now they fixed that, but they have an injury. And they haven't been able to find their footing. Last night was a perfect indication of who the Cincinnati Bengals could be, and will be for a long time if they do their part, if they stay healthy. And those are all the factors that they have been faced with, but playing in the NFL. So right now, I'm displeased about Joe Burrow's performances that we've seen in the last couple of years, but obviously optimistic that, what he shows in these last couple of games is always to prove that he's still a game changer in this league.
This is my problem. I'm gonna tell you what my big problem is. RC, I'm gonna tell you what your big problem should be. Is that damn smile on Zach Taylor's face after last night. That's what you should be upset about. I'm gonna tell y'all why y'all should be upset about that damn smile, okay? Because Joe Burrow comes back and all is well. Well, what the hell you coaching for then? What you coaching for then? Because what we saw from the Cincinnati Bengals is a team that had epic collapses. Listen, Joe Burrow was great last night. How much points did they score last night, RC and Cam? Was it at 32?
Yeah.
Well, I saw Joe Flacco go on a football field and drop 38 and 39 in losses to the New York Jets and the Chicago Bears. So if somebody was coaching the damn team when Joe Burrow was out and made sure that the other parts of the football team were ready to roll, you wouldn't have lost that game. You'd be 2 games up right now. Instead of 3 and 8, okay, you'd have been, 5 and 6? You'd have been right in the mix. So this is what we're talking about here. So Zach Taylor sitting there with this cheese George Foreman, God rest his soul, this George Foreman smile on his face, just cheesing like all is well. No, the hell it ain't. What it should be is if I'm Cincinnati Bengals ownership, I'm looking at a coach and I'm like, yo, Joe Burrow was out. But we still had Chase. We still had T. Higgins. We plucked Joe Flacco from the Browns, got them to make a trade within a division that ticked Mike Tomlin off of the Pittsburgh Steelers, for crying out loud. Okay? All of that happened, and the brothers still went out there and put up points, but we acted like we didn't know how to play collective football. But all of a sudden, Joe Burrow is back, and all is well. To me, he looks at it as a plus because they won a game. I look at it as an indictment against him because you could have found a way to win a couple of those games that Joe Burrow was out over 3 months so you could be in the damn playoff hunt. That's my personal opinion.
The big thing is, though, when you watch this team last week, especially defensively, they were trending this way. They played extremely well against Drake May and the New England Patriots, even having a pick 6 from Geno Stone to put points on the board. It is an organizational failure that the Cincinnati Bengals are in the place that they're in last night. But let me tell you why Zach Taylor is smiling, because football is damn hard. And you work all week for 3 hours. And if in those 3 hours you find a way to win against a divisional opponent who is fighting tooth and nail to get into the playoffs, you damn right you going to smile. You damn right you going to be excited about the work that you did that week to come out victorious on that scoreboard. And the next morning you put it away and you start working on the next week.
RC, let me talk to you directly because you know You've been bringing this stuff up a lot. Football's damn hard. It's a lot of stuff that people out go through, all this other stuff. Let me tell you something, RC. You understand? How many jobs of these exist? It's 32.
32.
Head coaching jobs in the National Football League. How many people are starving for those opportunities?
Everybody
Hundreds, if not thousands, if not everybody working for it. Everybody working for it. So I don't care how hard it is. That's what comes with it, Zach Taylor. That's what comes with it. Your ass can't sit up there and coach it on. How many years have I been saying to you, yo, what is he doing? How many years have I been calling for an investigation into what Zach Taylor does in the offseason? I said, yo, you got spring, you got the spring, you understand, you got OTAs, you got training camp, you got preseason. We're talking about a team over 6 years. Yep. The first 2 games of the season, that's 12 games. The man's record was 1-11. He literally has shown factually that he never has his team ready to play at the start of the season, okay? Only twice have they won a couple of games in the 6-7 years that he's been there. I literally have said, what the hell are you doing? That repeatedly, what a Joe Burrow, what a Jamar Chase, what a T. Higgins and these boys, because they've been there somehow, some way. You're behind on have this team ready to play at the very beginning, and then you miss out on a playoff spot by 1 or 2 games, okay? That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the smile on his face. Do your damn job. Do your damn job. As hard as it is, the fact is you wanted it. You wanted 32 head coaches. You coached the team to the Super Bowl before, but then you forget how to coach other times. You rarely ever have them ready at the start of the season. Joe Burrow has been hurt, not once, not twice, but this 3rd season is almost the 3rd season that he's missed an entire year. How many games he missed? He missed 3 months this year. He missed 2 other seasons because you got him in shotgun. You don't have him lined up behind center. You don't protect him enough. You haven't buffered the offensive line. It's like, damn, that's the franchise. Right? Protect him or make sure you're doing your job in other areas so we don't have to worry about that. That has not been Zach Taylor. I don't give a damn how hard it is. You wanted it. You getting paid to do it. Figure it out.
Tell him why you mad, son. Tell him why you mad, son.
I just did. All right,
we got to go here. I mean, organizational failures usually lead to organizational changes.
I like fired up Stephen A.
We'll see if that happens these next 5 games.